All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to talk about something that totally shifted the game when it comes to blockchain, Ethereum. So, if you've been thinking of crypto as just digital cash, get ready because we're about to explore a much, much bigger picture.
Okay, so to really get what Ethereum is all about, you've got to look at where it came from. Bitcoin, it was an absolute breakthrough, right? But its mission was super specific.
And that brings us to the one big question that really kicked off this whole new wave of thinking. What if that powerful, decentralized technology that makes Bitcoin work could be used for, well, pretty much anything you could imagine? And this right here, this shows you the difference in a nutshell. On one side, you've got Bitcoin, designed to be digital cash, plain and simple. But then you look at Ethereum, and the language is totally different. It's a platform. It's not just about money. It's about a place where you can program it, and a whole lot more. So, taking the amazing ideas that Bitcoin introduced back in 2009, a developer named Vitalik Buterin had this vision for a much broader platform. And by 2015, it was real. The first block of the Ethereum blockchain was mined, and a whole new chapter began. So, what was this new platform? What did it actually do? Well, that brings us to this really powerful idea, an analogy that helps it all click: the world computer. This quote really nails it. I want you to imagine a single gigantic computer. But here's the twist. Nobody owns it. Not Google, not a government, nobody. It's run by thousands of computers all around the globe, all working together. And anyone, you, me, anyone, can connect to it and run programs on it. That's basically the big idea behind Ethereum.
But how does a world computer like that actually work? It's not magic, right? It's got an engine, and that engine has a few key parts. Just like any computer, you can think of it as having its own fuel, its own software, and its own operating system.
First, you've got the fuel. That's Ether, or ETH. Now, you might know it as a crypto you can buy and sell, but on the network, its main job isn't trading. It's the juice you need to make anything happen on this world computer. And this leads to a concept called gas. And honestly, this is where it gets really clever. Every single thing you do on the network, every tiny calculation, takes effort. Gas is just the unit used to measure that computational work, and you pay for that gas using Ether. It's a genius way to stop people from spamming the network, because every single action has a real-world cost. Okay, so we've got our fuel. What about the software? Well, on Ethereum, the programs running on this world computer are called smart contracts. And don't just think of them as code. Think of them as agreements that run themselves. The rules are baked right in, and they just work automatically. This shows you just how powerful that is. So let's say you have a flight insurance policy. The terms are all coded into a smart contract. An official source reports your flight is delayed. That's the trigger. The contract sees it and, boom, instantly executes the payout to your wallet. No paperwork, no phone calls, no waiting for an adjuster. It just happens. The really crucial thing here is that this is all autonomous and totally transparent. The agreement runs exactly how it was programmed to, without needing a bank or a lawyer or anyone in the middle to enforce it. The code is the enforcer. And that leads to this huge idea you hear all the time in this world. Code is law. And finally, we need an operating system. Something has to actually run all these smart contracts, right? That's the job of the Ethereum Virtual Machine, or EVM. You can think of it as the engine room. It's the core processor of the whole network, executing all the code and keeping track of everything. So let's recap. We've got this world computer, fueled by Ether, running software called smart contracts on an operating system called the EVM. So the big question is, what can you actually build with all this stuff? Well, for starters, you can build what are called DApps. That's short for Decentralized Applications. And they can look and feel just like the apps you use on your phone every day, but with one massive difference. Their guts run on the Ethereum blockchain, not on servers owned by some big company.
This diagram explains it perfectly. When you use an app like Twitter, it's constantly talking to a central database that Twitter owns and controls. But with a decentralized version, the app would talk to a smart contract on the blockchain instead. What does that mean for you? It means you are in control of your data, not a corporation.
But you can take this whole idea even further. You don't just have to build apps, you can build entire organizations on the blockchain. And these are called DAOs, or Decentralized Autonomous Organizations. So get this, a DAO is an organization that runs without a CEO, without a board of directors, without any of that traditional hierarchy. Instead, all of its rules are just written into smart contracts, and big decisions like how to spend money from the treasury are made by all the members voting with tokens. It's a completely transparent, democratic way to run a group. All right, now let's put all these pieces together and see the bigger picture. Because Ethereum isn't just one thing. It's really the foundation of an entirely new technology stack, one that's designed from the ground up to be decentralized. So think about it. A world computer needs a hard drive, right? It needs somewhere to store files. On the internet we use today, companies like Amazon or Google handle that. In the Ethereum world, that job goes to a project called Swarm. It's basically a distributed storage network. Think of it like a decentralized Dropbox. I absolutely love this quote because it makes it so clear. If Ethereum and the EVM are the brains of the operation, the CPU doing all the thinking and processing, then Swarm is the hard drive, the decentralized place where everything is stored. Okay, so last piece of the puzzle. All these dApps need a way to talk to each other, securely and privately. And for that, there's a protocol called Whisper. It's like a decentralized encrypted messaging service for the entire ecosystem. And this slide really brings it all home. At the bottom, you have the basic internet. But then you get what some people call the holy trinity of the decentralized web. Ethereum for all the computing, Swarm for the storage, and Whisper for the messaging. That's the complete stack, the foundation you need to build a whole new kind of web. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that Ethereum was never just about being another cryptocurrency. It was built from day one to be a platform, a new kind of computer for building decentralized systems. And this whole vision, it leaves us with a really big question to think about. Is this the start of a fundamentally different kind of internet? One that's more open, more transparent, and puts us, the users, back in control? Well, only time will tell.